All right, guys, we're going to do, is this light on, Joe? Yep. All right, we're going to do, I was going to do a bunch of push-ups today. How many, I don't know. We'll see. But he's been working tremendously hard all week. It is Thursday, and so he's going to do a bunch of push-ups. That'll probably be about all we show today. He's going to go in and do do some work with his legs, with some other bag work and stuff tomorrow, and he's already done some reflex bag work here. It's turning out that we're kind of liking staying in on Thursdays. So Carmen was working late on some Thursdays. That's when they have like the PTA days in general. They'll be on the Thursdays during the week. And where she'll come in late. So we just been here at the house for the past few Thursdays. So we're just going to start working in the house on Thursdays with what we show you guys at any rate. So whenever you get ready, Joe, you can start, and I'll give you guys an old man story or an old man rant. Joe's got his Thunderbird Hotel shirt on. If you don't know the significance of that, the significance of that would be Sonny Liston. Sonny Liston was sponsored by the Thunderbird Hotel out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And he wore those shirts a lot. So Joe wears them in respect and reverence to the Big Bear. So I don't know how many push-ups Joe's going to do. He kind of is feeling a little giddy today. So we'll have to see here and see what happens. I'll probably give you some, I'll start talking about something. Last week I ran it on how terrible boxing is in the U.S. and how we went from Americans dominating boxing in general and certainly dominating the heavyweight class. Well, we dominated everything for a long time, and only problems we had was like in the featherweight division. Featherweight, and of course now they got super featherweight, I believe. They got a bunch more divisions than normal. Everybody's wanting to fight at the exact same poundage, and I don't really like that a whole lot, but it is what it is. So that was my rant last week, and on how terrible, and the professional boxing in the U.S. is terrible because of the amateur boxing is terrible, and we can't get a good crop of people coming up. And I'll just reiterate a little about this, I suppose, and then perhaps I'll move on to something else. But kudos to England. I believe in the IBF, I seen a posting where out of the top 10, England, maybe it's the UK, has 5 of the top 10 in the world. You know, they own boxing. And it's because in their gyms, they're not messing around. And they'll let these young boys and young men get it on. and they encourage it, and these trainers are tougher there. They got it figured out. The boxing ain't the local gymnasium to go get fit in, for that being the sole purpose. You go there because you're going to learn how to fight, how to box. But so we've got to get that back. Of course, we're in Colombia here. Colombia is awful. For those of you who may be new to the channel, the boxing leagues won't let Joe in. He competed at 13 and into 14 years old and beat up everybody by stoppage or forfeit the whole time. And about the time he was 15 and a half, the boxing leagues would not permit him to participate in league boxing, which would be their amateur boxing here. And they start talking about brain damage and safety when Joe comes around. And it's sad because they had a team that sucked equally as bad. Boxing Colombia sucked equally as bad as Boxing USA. Both groups, I'm just going to say it, I'm going to be honest about it, it's a pack of losers. By the time you get up to national team competitions or Olympic competitions, the USA and Colombia and many other countries, as a matter of factly, they put the wrong guys in the slots due to bad decisions, because you got homos and feminist women and mentally ill sort sitting in there judging these fights. And they're picking the best looking one, the queerest one, the most inept one, because you got to have equity in it. So you got judges across both these countries that aren't, their emotions are judging the fight, not the ability, and not promoting the winners. And it's a damn shame. And I'd literally slap the shit out of the guy that was running and heading Boxing USA during these past Olympics. And that guy don't want to be in an arena when I get back in the U.S. with me. If he is, I'm not going to hit the guy. It's being figuratively. But I will tell the guy, why in hell, because here's what's going to happen. That little group of nitwits are going to start making excuses. Well, that's who they gave us. Well, that's what they did here. When in actuality, they should have stood up and stopped it. See? And nobody's doing the C of it, the C part of it. And it's got to be changed. Or we'll just continue to be the pathetic losers that we have grown accustomed to be over the past, since 2008 or so. So, got to decide what you want. I'm telling you right now, if Joe were there right now and he was in, they're doing several Golden Gloves are going on, and probably in those venues Joe would do a lot better, but in other types of qualifiers, for Team USA qualifiers, Joe wouldn't do the crap. He'd end up flooring several guys, and then they'd end up disqualifying him. See, I already know how the game works. And how these pathetic thugs that are running the committees, the nationals, and the Olympic portion of it, and the country team part of it, and they're pathetic. And they all need to be resigned or kicked out. They're pathetic. If I were running that program, not saying I'm qualified enough to do it, but if I were running that program, I would resign if I were that pathetic. You look on YouTube, they've took most of the videos down, and would you all like to know why? Because of me and calling them out. But I'm sure they still got a boatload of them. I seen where they took several of them down, where they had more dessert baking classes, and recipe classes on desserts more than they had on the art of boxing and matches and things of that sort, fights and all. It's just pathetic. And the African Americans used to rule boxing. That day's long gone because they have to be codified and babied and petted and told how much of a victim they are, and they can't never win at nothing because they're precious. And until that woke shit gets out, there'll be no changes a coming. There'll be no changes a coming. So that was my vent last week, and it's turned out to be the start of the old man rant. Excuse me, this week. So we had a kid come in 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then he just disappeared on us. And he come up to me, when was it, Monday or Tuesday?
What?
When the boy come up to us in the gym. Was it Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah. And, told Joe this, oh, well, I hurt my knuckle, and that's why I ain't been back. So I told him, well, come on up in here Friday. We're going to be working at the house. Boy didn't bring his gloves yesterday, so I told him, come on Friday and bring your gloves. And Joe's going to take him to school and educate him in a little bit of sparring. And that's what you got to do. These kids won't listen today. They think, well, I'll come when I want to, won't go when I don't want to. And folks, if you were paying me $500 a month or $1,000 a month to train your ass or to train your kid's ass, I still wouldn't put up with that shit. There's just something lost about the love of this art form that is gone. Everything's, weirdos online. And really, this is a lot in the African American community. Oh, but this one's got so many pay-per-views. This one, the venue. And I'm like, well, you get the heck out of here with that. Get down to the love of the sport. You want the love of the sport, and you want to hear an African American gentleman who I respect the hell out of, go see Gregory Towns and hear him get on a spell on how bad boxing's getting in the United States. Because he's like I am, he calls these weirdos out. We're sitting here thinking, oh, Ryan Garcia is that great for boxing, folks? Really? Really? Is that what you want? A crazy guy who is a quitter hey, you want the guy that beat him, Rolly Romero, garbage pail mouth weirdo? They can't fight, by the way. Neither one of them boys can fight. Or do you want the other guy and his daddy, where his daddy's running around, running his mouth? I can't think of the fellow's name right now. He's a black guy. That guy, God, why can't I think of his name? The guy that Ryan Garcia beat up, and then there 1/1000% of something's in his pee, and his daddy's running around raising hell, excuse making. When his kid just got the crap beat out of him. And, or, what do you want? What do you want? That's good for boxing. Tank Davis, whom I like the best, with Bud Crawford. I'll get on Bud in a minute. Tank Davis that belongs on those streets, that got beat up. So much of a big baby, went over to the corner. It's how these people feel that entitled, and that's what they are. They are entitled. Boxers are entitled. He goes over there to get his precious face wiped because sweat's getting in his eyes, and nobody penalizes him or says a word about it or does anything about it. Then they give him a bad decision and let him win. Or you want Bud Crawford just going to fight once every 10 years? Let's face it, we ain't got nothing in the U.S. You want, what was the guy's name? Anderson, or I think Anderson, up there, arms so big, he ain't got enough oxygen to make it through half a round, and he's knocking bums out left and right. I knew that wasn't going to work. The rest of you didn't know that wasn't going to work because you don't know boxing. You don't know the sport. You don't know the deal. Boxing's an art. You can pick it out. All you got to do is look at what's going on around you. See a fella get in there and some muscle bound, he don't have oxygen to move around with. You guys better be lucky Muhammad Ali ain't resurrected and come back from the grave, because he'd beat the hell out of everybody. And I really mean that. Any top 10 fighter of the 60s or 70s would beat the hell out of anybody today. Of course, y'all don't know that. You think his size thing's got everything to do with it now. And it don't. It don't. Yeah, they're wrong. They are. Yes, the other way around. You got Fury. Now we'll get on Fury, whom I've heaped glory on for a long time. He's running around, I'm mentally ill, I'm mentally ill. Him and Garcia. Oh, well, we're mentally ill. Wake the hell up, everybody's mentally ill. You live on an insane asylum called Earth. Ain't none of us sane. Ain't no sanity going on anywhere around you. And the same ones that, I'm mentally ill, think it's quite, they are mentally ill because they think it's quite all right to a 6-year-old little boy to start taking female hormones and act like he's little Jane instead of James. And what the hell? Yeah, everybody's insane. Join the group. We're all mentally ill. We all got problems. We're all depressed. We're all feeling anxiety. I got $200 million in the bank. I live in a plush, big, huge house. I go to Hawaii 3 times a year, and I can't handle that. It's just too much pressure. Get the F out of here. And you see, those guys have FAFO'd. And the bottom line to it is, everybody's suffering. Everybody's got problems. Everybody's depressed, anxiety, feels disordered. It's what life is. It ain't supposed to be all peachy. And, same with the NFL and especially the NBA and the same with Major League Baseball today. My uncle and my cousin, first cousin, they both played Major League Baseball. And my uncle, if you hear Jack McKeon, former World Series Hall of Fame baseball manager, you know what he said about my Uncle Bud Harden? He said, had that awful war not come about and Bud not had to went over to Europe to defend freedom and got hurt, you'd be talking about Bud Harden like you'd be talking about Yogi Bear, Babe Ruth, or any number of guys. That's what these great baseball people said about my uncle. That he wasn't crying and moaning. He turned that baseball career that he did have into a rather good movie career, working on TV programs such as Chips and the old TV programs like Dallas. Developed a special best friend relationship with Chuck Connors, the star of many westerns, and The Rifleman, the TV series The Rifleman. The guys wasn't falling down dead over everything. They were men. They were real men. My cousin, David Hefner, is up there in Canada playing for the Montreal Expos. They're now the Washington Nationals. He is up there playing and doing great. And something hit him in his heart like a ton of bricks. And he left. He told him at the beginning of the last year, they were going into spring training, or whatever the start of training was for them guys back then. And he was at the beginning, and he was like, good Lord's called me to help kids out. So he goes back to Gardner-Webb University and finishes his degree. That was more important to him. He got the money to do what he wanted to do. But what he went to do was success field. He's head coach for Kings Mountain High and Kings Mountain Middle School for years and years. His passion was to make strong men out of young boys, and he did that. Did it for 40 damn years. Still doing it in his old age. He's older than me. And that's who I come up off of. My daddy lettering in baseball as a freshman in high school. My other uncle, an Atlantic Coast Conference baseball umpire. My daddy died when I just turned 11, and my mama was more of a man than most of you young fellas' daddies out there. I was boxing or had taekwondo competitions or boxing competitions in Charlotte. You should be the one out there telling me, don't you give up, you keep going. Don't you give up, boy. Let him have it. My mother now. who, if any of you were ever graced to meet her, you'd say was the sweetest little old lady you ever met before. But she was tough in growing me up. She had to step in and fill the role. Something mothers ain't doing today. Just a bunch of absentee fathers and or either forced absent fathers or voluntary absent fathers and a bunch of women who think they're men. This world is getting bad, you guys. And in the meantime, me and my son are just working and toiling along like it's 1969, 1962. And soon, Joe B will get back. They ain't going to be able to deny Joe, and he's going to be kicking ass and taking names. And ain't nobody going to know what hit him. Meanwhile, you got weirdos getting online. Well, he's got a weak punch. I'm like, what planet have you come off of? And I'll tell you how he got where he was at. We were just talking earlier. First 2 damn months, Joe got his ass beat 3-4 times a week by a Venezuelan professional fighter when he was 12, going on to be 13 years old. And I told that guy, I told that man, I said, be rough on him because I need to know if he really likes and wants to do this or not. And I need you to discourage him to quit if he don't have an extreme passion for this. And he said, okay. And he is harder on Joe than it ever been on anybody. And I mean that. Joe would say, I'd go in, I'd say, Joe, you got to hit him harder. Hit him hard enough, he'll back off on you. Full well me knowing that man won't go back off. And Joe would go in, he'd hit harder every sparring session. It was the same thing. We'd be on the way home. Dad, you told me to hit him harder, so he hit me harder. And I mean, that's what it's all about, see. Joe was coming home with something every sparring session with blood coming out from somewhere. And, I mean, it's what you got to do. Oh, you're mean. You didn't care about your son. Yeah, really, I wanted to break him because if he didn't really love the sport, I didn't want him to even make an attempt to do it. And what it's turned into is greatness that you guys get to see that are coming about and coming upon the boxing world. And of course, I can't convince any of you of that, but I can tell you, in my old age and all I've seen, that is exactly what's happening. And the work is showing it. And this world is rough. No matter what you're going to do. How many you got, son?
460 in 25 minutes.
All right, he's got 460 so far. And see how many we're going to get. You know, we don't sit back and do try to do 110, 120, 150 at one time. Well, you could. I'm sure you could do 100 in a row, yeah. But we're trying to maximize what he can get out of these things. So there's stop and rest period, and then do a few, then stop and rest period. And I tell you, young guys all the time, man, you guys don't know how many young boxers I've run up on in the past 5 years that couldn't do 10 push-ups. And they come to me and I tell them, kids, you're going to be doing 110 here pretty darn soon. And I map out ways for them to do it. And before you know it, they're doing more push-ups than anybody in the boxing gym they go to. They're doing more pull-ups. They're doing more body squats. They're doing jump rope longer. They're running more. It's just all in how you approach something. And and that's what's missing from the older fellas to teaching the younger fellas. All these kids are the same. You got a kid that's blessed to do high-end mathematics. You got one over here that's blessed to physics. You got one over here that's blessed to box. You got one over here that's blessed to be a world-class sprinter. But every young man and boy has got something, and you need to. The older people, it's their job. It's our job, damn it, to start figuring where's the strength in these young people and to pull it out of them and push them and motivate them and maximize them. And that is an art that has been totally lost. Today they want to coddle him. Well, he's not good in this one area, so we need to baby him in everything. Oh, well, he don't want to go to. What kids get up and want to go to school, guys? I didn't. Well, there was some years that I did. Was motivated by girls and such, but stupid stuff. But no, who wants to get up early in the morning and go study all day long and learn? It's few. You got some kids that do, and you need to push them in the academics, and you need to push the hell out of them to maximize the fullest potential that they can possibly be. We're blessed around here. Joe's great in the academics as well. I can't tell you how blessed I am around here. But really, the majority of it is raising him like God's told me to raise him. And where I do have shortcomings in my rearing of Joe, it shows. And but I'm doing like if my dad had lived what I believed that he would have done with me. And biblical, most importantly, biblical. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Well, he don't want to go to school. He's got to be suffering from some kind of mental illness. He's mentally ill. Everybody, that's the fallback on everything. You watch the cop things today on these arrest things and online, and they come up on a young guy, and the first damn thing half these people say, "I'm mentally ill. You can't touch me." That would give a 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s cop. That would be right when a cop would knock the hell out of you and just go dead on your ass, on a young person's ass. He'd say, "We got a babyfied juvenile delinquent here. Let's beat the shit out of him and teach him a lesson." But no lessons to be taught today. And then everybody's crying by all these drive-by shootings because these effeminate so-called tough street guys can't get in a fight with each other. They have to go by in a car. Can't even run up on somebody and shoot them. So cowardly. Have to be going by real quick in a car and have 3 of their buddies shooting with them. And there ain't no honor in that. You're a weak, pathetic fool to go to doing something like that. And you're pathetic. And there ain't nothing real brave about that. It's effeminate emotionalism wrapped up on that young man or old man that would do something like that. They're emotional driven. They're not driven by male logic or honor or dignity or morality. Just like an out of control, idiot, lunatic woman emotionally. You're doing good, son. Yeah, Joe was here a while back. I'm gonna get Prison Jack, Dad. He's Prison Jack now. I mean, you got son?
560 in 32 minutes.
He's got 560. He's got in 33 minutes here. Are his light still on this thing?
Yeah.
All right.
I charged them 4 days ago. So 3 days
Okay.
ago, so.
All right. Well, I used the other one too. You know, I used the mic I didn't use yesterday, so we should be fine there.
That's the one that I will charge.
Well, I'm using the one that don't have the thing in it. You didn't charge this one?
But
All
I
right.
should still have some.
All right. Yeah. And it's a good thing. See, the life Joe gets to live when he was 15 and now that he's 16 years old. When he goes up inside any gym, if it's a boxing gym, if it's a bodybuilding, powerlifting place, it don't make a taekwondo place, MMA, no difference. Joe garners the respect of the big tough guys in every one of these gyms. Down there where we're at now, we got guys that's bench pressing over 500 pounds. I have no idea how much they're squatting. Way more, I assume. And these big, physically thick muscled guys. And I'll go in, I say, you want to spar with him? And they're like, with him? And they're like, no way, man. He's the baddest dude in the gym. And Joe's just 16, see? And I know maybe we go up to Cartagena or Barranquilla. This is 2 coastal cities here. And they ain't worth a damn, but they got some professional fighters there. I'm going to have to take him up there to get some damn sparring. And they'll probably, because there's this pride thing going on with these people. Well, you can't hurt their pride. They're like a scorned woman. Upset schoolgirl. And we've experienced that too. We've experienced it all down here. For those of you that's new to the channel and goes through this stuff with us, I had a former IBF world champion here. I almost beat the shit out of him in front of everybody in his gym. Him fucking around, playing games. I was like, I warned you, pal. I'll whip your ass in front of everybody. And see, that's what Joe's got to grow up seeing. A strong father. One that ain't going to be backing down. And one that if he sees me, that where somebody may perceive me as backing down, he'll be looking at it as, well, my dad's no coward. He's doing something smart here. Because I am by no means a big tough guy. Oh, well, Joe's seen me. Joe,
Size for the toughest.
well, my son's unfortunately seen me get it on with a few people in his lifetime. I'm old and broke down and still can whoop a 30-year-old man's ass quite easily, even a big guy's. Not everybody, and I got to cut this mess out. And I have cut it out. I don't really fight no more. I've said twice in the past year, Joe, get them. And Joe's got them. So we're still blowing steam around here, but it's just because of where we live and what goes on in this country, and there's no law and no order and I know a lot of stuff, no justice, so you about have to take care of things here yourself.
Also,
What you got?
620 37 minutes.
All right,
So I'm 3 minutes ahead of schedule.
all right. How many you gonna go for, you think? 700. Oh,
1,100.
all right. Well, yeah, 1,000 ought to be child's play to you now. Yeah. I mean, it works you good, but you know, it ain't something that's going to take you out for a week. Yeah, you work yourself up, young men, to doing like 1,000 push-ups in the course of an hour, and it'll take your breath for a day or three later. It's,
You're able to finish.
yeah, and
How was the time?
what was the time on there? Oh, well, keep going. Yeah, don't worry about the time. But I'll say do a 1,000 or maybe do 700 within an hour or so. And if you ain't used to doing that and set a lofty goal like that, when you do it, it'll be real hard for you, and it'll be very difficult for you. And you'll be, you know, for a couple of 3 days, you'll be feeling it. But as you keep achieving goals, you get to where you can accomplish big feats, and it ain't all that much to you. And all you have to do is go back and listen to the workers of our sport. You know, just go listen to Marciano, as in Rocky Marciano. Listen to Sonny Liston was a hard worker. Muhammad Ali, Floyd Patterson, and really any of the guys of the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, or 40s. And and Mike Tyson even, and they'd tell you how they do it. And Mike Tyson was outworking everybody with the exception of Marvin Hagler the whole time Mike Tyson was a professional. And Marvin Hagler would say, I just work, man. He'd have work and war printed on his hats. He knew what it was about. He got himself in the right frame of mind. The biggest fight you have is with yourself. It's with yourself, guys. You know, I drink a bunch of alcohol. I'm alcoholic. That's a war you're losing with yourself. I do drugs. That's a war you're losing with yourself. I don't work hard enough. That's a war you're losing with yourself. I'm lazy. That's a war you lose with yourself. And you got to win these wars. And in the bottom line of it, the war is with yourself. This is a testing ground. It's spiritual. And if you get the spirit right, the body will follow right with you. Get the spirit right with the Lord, and the body will follow right with you. And you got to make sure you're getting your spirit right with the real Lord. And I mean that, because there's a lot of false Christ wandering around here and a lot of false religions wandering around. Get yourself right with the Lord is bad. You'll never be right with Him. It's just a constant battle, spiritual warfare from the moment you're born till you die. But you start winning these spiritual wars, and you'll start winning these physical wars, and you will be as bold as a lion. Little David, when he was out there and took down Goliath, he wasn't. He knew who his king was. He knew who his Lord was. And that gave him the inner courage. And finally, he was like, I'll go out there and take this guy down, when the big guys wouldn't. He's just a kid. And he went down there and took him. There's a lot of reason behind Mike Tyson's first nickname of being Kid Dynamite with David and Goliath. Because Mike Tyson was not a physically big heavyweight. He was a smaller guy, even in his generation. Y'all forget Mike Tyson was fighting at around the weight Sonny Liston was fighting at. By that time, you had 235, 240 pound guys wandering around here that were a lot taller and a lot bigger, and that can happen again. And Mike Tyson was not 5'11" and a half inches. Mike was in between 5'8" and 5'9" all day long, every day of the week. And I know. Well, I seen him standing there. I don't know what they did with that thing. But I'm telling you, Mike wasn't as tall as he was listed as. And a lot of the times, I don't think his early on now, I don't think his, of course, when he started getting it on, that weigh you correctly. But I think there's a lot of times he got in the ring and he weighed a lot less than and it got finagled there too. But I know the height was continually finagled. Well, hell, I seen it all. Guy walking up the street with a bed on his shoulders.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. If y'all didn't see that, rewind this thing about 20 or 30 seconds. You're going to see a fella walking up the road with a bed on his shoulders. A bed, B-E-D. So just trust me, young fellas, when I tell you, or even if you older, dig deep. You can do all these things. This world is designed as chaotic and as much of an insane asylum as Earth is. It is designed for you to win and for you to win spiritual battles that will bring physical winning to you.
That's our daily tech here. Say hello to somebody that's looking at you. As they walk
He didn't
up.
even say hello, did he?
He looked at me like this. And just kept on looking.
Yeah, that old man. There's a lot of weird people here in Columbia, guys. They'll look straight at you. You'll say hey to them, and they'll just look at you. You got a lot of people walking around with looks on their face like this.
On purpose.
On purpose.
And
And you got a lot of people, because there's been a lot of incest in this country, that walk around and they look like the Simpsons characters. Physically look like the Simpsons characters. And there's a lot of that going on all across Latin America. A lot of incest was going on. A lot of physical deformities and things, and it's just sad as can be. How many you got, son?
7:20, 46 minutes, 46.
7:20.
I lost those 3 minutes.
Well, don't worry about it. If you run a little over, you run a little over. If the phone's empty enough that it'll handle the video, you're good. How many minutes?
47.
All right. And now, folks, this is, although this looks so, if you're thinking about it, it's very, very difficult, very, very hard. And this is some of the easiest stuff that he does. It may be the easiest thing that he does. So, there's just a lot of work going on around here. And we get bold a lot. And we follow that Ali philosophy. It ain't bragging if you can back it up. You got to have somewhat of an ego if you're going to be a fighter. Somebody walking up the street with a little microphone deal selling a repo. And for those of you that don't know what a repo is, it's a cornbread patty, probably about this big around typically, and maybe about like that thick. Let me see if I can do it, about that thick maybe. And you fry it in oil in a pan, and boy, or butter, and that stuff will heat up. It's some good eating. Who's our friends? Oh, good. We got the law out here.
Those are new.
They're new. Thank goodness where we're living at now, the police are our friends, and we are developing a good friendship with the commandant here, the chief. And he's got family from back in my hometown that are living in my hometown from here, and we're here. And that was an instant good connection, and we like it, the commandant a whole lot. And the officers here and all, they respect us a whole lot. And we invite these officers all the time if they want to come down and work with us, but we hadn't really been able to get them in. You know, they come in, it sounds easy, but then when it comes down to doing it, and like all of you come down here, get in a line, and each of you take a round with Joe to light or medium sparring. Give us the best you got, but nobody wants to. I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to get in the ring with him either. But now, if I was 30 years ago, I would have. 40 years ago, but not, nowhere near now. 20 years ago, I wouldn't have.
Okay. Oh, I think I'll just say 900.
All right, how much you got now?
780.
780.
120 more push-ups.
All right, so it looks like he's gonna get 900. How many minutes you got?
51.
51.
I could have done 1,100 push-ups, but I decided to take a 4-minute break.
Well, it's always gonna be okay. And what he'll end up doing if you don't hit a goal, and they don't do this every time, but maybe with push-ups, sit-ups, body weight squats, anything, he'll just do it in little increments the rest of the day and hit the number. So you can always hit the number. You might not hit it in the time you want to hit it in, but you can hit the number, I walk back there and he's got a desk in his room. He'll be in front of his desk down on the floor. Well, like, what are you doing? You done for today? No, I ain't. I didn't get to this number. I got to finish these. I got 70 more to do, or 100 more to do, or 200, or whatever. So you can always hit your objective. You just may not do it complete and whole. If you can't get down and do 10 push-ups, let's say 10's all you can do, And do 10 every 15 or 20 minutes through the day, or 10 once an hour during the day, as much as you can. Just get down on the floor and give yourself 10. Give yourself 3 if that's all you can do. And before you know it, you're at 110 or 103. And that's how you do it. You take steps at this. You don't get discouraged at it. Your weaknesses when you first hit the sport, no matter what it is, should be your strengths as you're at the apex or the pinnacle of it. All your weaknesses should be your strengths. And that's the philosophy we use. Our philosophy is hunt you down in the ring slowly, methodically, and knock your ass out as quickly as possible and go on to the house. Go rest, No, we're going to stand there and play chess that everybody's talking about today, which is ridiculous. Get in there and, like Joe said, I flipped the table over, he said. You're sitting down at the chess board on the table and he goes in and flips the table over and knocks you out of the chair and it's over. Ain't effing around here. It's just not what we do. A lot of times I tell Joe, I'll sit and I'll say, this is the correct way of getting from A through B and to C. But if Joe can get from A to C better, more efficiently, stronger, faster, and whatnot, I tell him, take your A to C route. We'll go that route. Well, you can't do that. That'd be insanity. No, that's exactly what you should do, because people have natural gifts and they're all a little different, hence different fighting styles. Eddie Futch would take a guy and he would adapt his training methods and come up with a style to beat anybody. And he did it with Kenny Norton, who I believe had 2 or 3 fights with Ali, and got 1 decision and got 1 or 2 bad decisions. But Kenny Norton beat Ali every time he got in the ring with him. Hands down. Go watch the fights. Go watch any Muhammad Ali and Kenny Norton fight. Am I demeaning Ali in any way? No, I'm telling you Eddie Futch had it going on. He looked, saw, and said, this is the way you defeat that. The peekaboo style, that the final form, it would have went on and progressed and would have been differently. And it was given differently to each fighter. That's why every Custody Amato fighter wasn't fighting the exact same, because they couldn't fight the exact same way. And D'Amato understood that. And Eddie Futch was king of that as well. But the peekaboo style, its final honing into Mike Tyson was to beat a Muhammad Ali every time. That's what it was about. Going after who a lot of people, his nickname was the greatest, and a lot of people think he was the greatest. And he certainly was in the 60s and 70s overall, in my opinion, by far. And I mean, that's what you do. But yet you got idiots out here training people how to fight, from world champions on down to 12-year-old kid that's walking in the ring to learn how to fight. You got trainers in there that have no idea how to bend anything for the particular needs of who he's got, to benefit the strengths that that kid's got, to minimize the weaknesses that that kid's got. No, damn, don't nobody know how to do none of that no more. Training everybody in the gym the same exact way. And it's crazy. Look, you know, Teddy Atlas catches hell. Well, he wasn't really that smart. He wasn't really that. Teddy had several world champions two heavyweight world champions. Do either one of them fight the same way? No. Come on, guys. Start to thinking. Use the brains. How many you got, son?
866.
All right, you're almost there.
Oh, no.
Just hit
I had
900.
2 minutes to get 34 push-ups in them.
Well, do 15 each time.
What do you think I'm trying?
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, you're at that point, right? Sounds easy, don't it, when I'm saying it?
Okay. Whoa. I got it. Let's go.
Got 10 there. I'll give you that one. That was 13.
So
All
that's
right,
12.
that's 12.
I'll take a break.
If I was really hollering at you right now, you wouldn't have this problem. So just listen to me. Get your ass down there and figure it out and pump them out and be done with it. I shouldn't have to tell you that. You've been hanging around me all your life.
So I
You got this. How many minutes you trying to get it in an hour?
I'm done. I got 22 push-ups and I got 30 seconds.
Well, just take it on out and we'll call it an hour. Hell, that's close enough. Ain't nobody gonna sue us over it. My baby.
That's 15.
Now Rocky will start crying because Joe's really pushing himself right now. So Rocky here will start crying. He'll be all right. Yeah, he'll be all right.
I was messing around for
How many do you have left?
7.
7?
I've been messing around for 50 minutes and
Well, get your ass down there and do 7 push-ups. That ain't nothing but a thing.
yeah,
You got it.
easy stuff.
You got it. Now see how easy that was?
Easy.
We love you guys. We hope everybody has a good Friday tomorrow and then on into it a good weekend. And remember, up in here, Christ is our King, Lord, and Savior. And if he ain't where you're at, we hope he is soon.